That's right, everybody. We're back. Genetically Accurate Warrior Cats is back. For real this time. Well, sort of for real. Think of this as more of a soft reboot. And by that I mean I was very angry at myself for disobeying my own rules in the previous incarnation of the series, and so I redid it all. But softly. In a soft way. Because I'm not going to put that much effort into this, or else I'd be here for another 2 years. Has it really been 2 years? Damn. Basically, the rules from last time are still the same. The top of the family tree determines the rest of the tree, there's no chimeras allowed, no hidden torties, no hidden whites, no random mutations, and all of that good stuff. Also, still no eye colors because who cares about eye colors? The only things I'm changing are as follows. The browns and the whites. Okay, yeah, that sounds like the start of a really bad racist joke. Basically, chocolates and cinnamons are back, baby. None of my stupid, chocolate and cinnamon are basically the same thing anyway, because guess what? A diluted chocolate cat tends to appear very gray, and that changes a whole lot of things, as you'll see in this video. I mean, in general, when I'm rushing cat genetics, I think it's fine to combine it under a simple brown umbrella, but chocolate and cinnamon being different is important here now. And for the white genes. So the stuff out there on white genes can be a little confusing, and when I first started learning about the genes, they were on 2 separate alleles. Now though, most evidence seems to point to them being on the same gene. So that's what I've changed. Dominant white, white spotting, and no white are now all controlled by the same alleles. What does this mean for us? Well, it means there's no longer going to be any noobs. Instead, they will be noobs. The only other thing I've changed is that I'm trying way harder to follow my own rules. Previously, I would do things like say, I'm going to make a cat as close to their canon design as possible, and then went ahead and gave them white spots because I knew a cat further down their line needed it. Well, no more. I'm not doing that anymore. If a cat's wiki description, and yes, I am just using the wiki description, doesn't say they have white, then that cat will not have white, unless it's a situation where they literally have to have white due to their parents. And yes, I'm mostly talking about Firestar right now because I gave him white spotting in the original Gen X series and it pissed future me off so bad. I'm too lazy to talk through each of the little rules I've set, so here's a quick screenshot of my Google Doc, the likes of which no one will ever see no matter how hard you beg. So with that in mind, let's go through and see how Firestar, Crowfeather, and Cloudtail's families have all changed. Once again, we'll start with how Scourge and his family has changed, since their family tree is entirely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but just fun to look at. Last time, only Ruby had changed. This time, following my own rules, everybody has changed. All their white spotting? Gone. Scourge is entirely unrecognizable. Well, except for the fact that he wears an insert color collar. Why is all their white spotting gone, you may ask? Well, that's because, according to Jake's description as provided by the wiki, he doesn't actually have any white spotting, which means neither he or Quince can pass any on. And yes, Crystal has plenty of white spotting, but remember, I am not allowing for any hidden white spotting, which means Jake has no white spots and cannot pass them all. That's the rules, I made them, and this time I am sticking to them. Keeping this in mind, let's go see what happened to Firestar's kitty pet family. Yeah, pretty much nothing changed except for now Firestar has lost his white spotting and gained the tabby stripes he is supposed to have, according to his detailed description on the wiki. What does this mean for his kids? Well, Leafpool's not going to have that white spotting either, but for the complete opposite reason to Firestar. While Firestar could have gotten white spotting from his mother, Nutmeg, he was not allowed to receive it because his wiki description does not include white spotting. Meanwhile, Leafpool is supposed to have white spotting, but she cannot receive it because neither Firestorm or Sandstorm have it. That's how the cookie crumbles. Also, as a fun little fact, Sandstorm is listed as a false tabby here. That's because her description says she has very faded stripes, much like some false red tabbies have, so she gets that. Because it's fun and doesn't actually change much of anything. Squilfstar also gets to be a false tabby because she is never actually described as a tabby, but must appear so due to her red coloring. Now, in order to figure out the 3's new genetically accurate designs, we've got to go up Crowfeather's tree for a second. And what's happened to our beloved brown cat family? Well, in Renflight's family, not much. Bristlebark lost his white spotting because he does not canonically have any. I let Flytail keep his little gray spots because whatever, who cares about him? And Renflight is now cinnamon instead of chocolate. Why, you ask? Well, you can blame her sister Rabbit Ear for that. Rabbit Ear is described as a pale brown cat. Because of my rules, a pale brown cat must be a cinnamon or fawn cat when possible. So she gets the cinnamon gene from both her parents. But since her parents are both black, or diluted black, that means they must have that dominant big B, meaning they're left with only one room for a B2 or cinnamon gene each. Therefore, the only kind of brown Wenflight can be is cinnamon or fawn, so she is cinnamon. Also, her white spotting went bye-bye, as her wiki desk doesn't include white spotting. Next up, the brownest of brown cat families. Nothing changed. And now, the next brown cat family, onestars. The only change here is Morning Flower, who now becomes a light brown or cinnamon cat, since her parents can literally only pass on cinnamon genes. She's a far cry from her tortoiseshell design now. Next, it's Deadfoot's family. And whoa, where'd Pigeonflight go? Yeah, I made him way too close to the background's color, and when I opened the file, I genuinely thought I deleted his colors for a second. Anyway, Pigeonflight is now a lilac gray instead of a dark gray. This is because of his mother, Meadowslip, who is described as a pale gray cat. See, because of my own rules, anytime a cat is described as pale gray, this is now a lilac color, and since she's at the tippity top of her tree, she must be lilac without any excuse of changing it. Due to that, Pigeonflight and Deadfoot have both changed. Deadfoot is now a chocolate tom instead of black. Again, if Meadowslip had been a normal gray cat, she would have been genetically blue. And Deadfoot could have been black or dark gray as well, but because she is specifically pale gray, she has to be lilac, and cannot pass a black gene on to Deadfoot. So Deadfoot is a chocolate latte kitty now, and he's not the only one. Yep, that's right. Power of 3, Crowfeather and Hollyleaf, guess what? They're chocolate now. For similar reasons as before, Crowfeather is only able to be chocolate, not black or dark gray, and Hollyleaf can only be chocolate, not black or dark gray. I would say this only makes it more believable that she was Brambleclaw's daughter, though, which would make for a better storytelling. Imagine her being Bramble's favorite, and her trying to be like Bramble because they look similar. Doesn't just tear your heart up with angst. Now that all the important families are done, let's move back to Cloudtail. Cloudtail's family doesn't really change at all, except Livy gets a little darker because who cares about Livy? Speckletail's family doesn't really change either. She's still a cinnamon/light brown tabby here, and White Eye is still a lilac aka pale gray cat. The only difference is now she doesn't carry the silver gene like I had her previously do because neither of their parents are described as silver, golden, or shiny in any capacity, so therefore she can't have it because they don't, which means Lionheart & Co. will also not receive the silver gene. Now Lionheart's family tree changes a whole lot. Yep, that's right, chocolate tabbies. Golden Flower looks a lot like Brambleclaw now, huh? Now as whole, I look like my dad's story. Doesn't really work. And why have Golden and Lion switch into darker brown tabbies? Well, that's less because of their parents' genes and more because of my new rules. Now, if I have any ginger or golden cats, which Golden and Lion are, if I am not able to make them red-gened cats, then I must turn them into chocolate cats, if possible, as the next closest option. So, they be chocolatin'. Technically, with a switch of Smolly's recessive B gene into a B2, they could have been light brown cats still, but that ain't how this game is played anymore. I've got rules to follow. Frostfur's family also makes little changes. Only Brittleface turns a lighter shade of gray, as her wiki description is a pale gray, and pale gray must be lilac when possible, which it is possible. Slamming Lionheart and Frostfur together, their kits also don't change too much, with the exception of Brightheart. Following the same rules as her dad, Brightheart, because she is a ginger cat in canon, must become a chocolate cat as the next best possible. Also, fun little fact, Cinderpelt's description is technically a smoky gray cat, which would have been fun to give her the silver gene for, and solids with the silver gene are called smokes, except I couldn't, as previously stated, because her grandmama Speckletail can't receive the silver gene and sneakily pass it down. Rip all the fun stuff. And finally, we get to end the episode with Bright Cloud's kits. And it's kind of anticlimactic because not much changes, except White Wing gets her green eyes back because the reason I changed them to blue last time was stupid. It was probably more genetically correct, but I said I didn't care about other eye colors, and by StarClan, I will not care about eye colors. Also, Amber Moon now has to have a little bit of white spotting, as a treat. This is because she literally has no choice but to receive a white gene in some capacity. Theoretically, Cloudtail could be carrying a no white gene instead of a white spotting gene, but if I did that, then Doo-Nose would lose his white spotting, so it seemed a bit better to just give Amber Moon a few tiny spots of white. And that's it, for now. I know we still have to go back and fix Bramblestar and Yellowfang's family, but adding them to this video would have just made it longer to finish the video, and I wanted to at least post something. So for those of you disappointed that I still haven't gotten to Blue Star or Mapleshade or Blackstar's family, they'll be coming after that video, which will be finished in either a week or 2 years. In the meantime, if you want to check out more warrior cats related genetics content, I really suggest checking out these content creators. Ginger Aco on Tumblr basically continues the idea I have in this series, but has gotten way further down the family trees than me. Little Hungry Warrior has made an awesome genetics video on warriors, but they also have a really awesome playlist chock full of cat genetics videos. And Rat King has made this totally awesome video where instead of making warrior cats bend to the rules of cat genetics, they make cat genetics bend to the rules of warrior cats, which is such an awesome concept, so I really recommend checking their video out. Links will be in the descriptions, and thank you for watching. See you in 2 years!